In this lesson, I'm going to be showing you how to create a settings cog that you might see on a lot of websites in Adobe Illustrator. And this typically symbolizes setting options or preferences. Okay, so we're going to select our ellipse tool, we're going to hold shift, and we're going to draw a perfect circle. We're then going to switch the fill and the stroke, and then we're going to increase the weight. Your weight might be slightly different depending on how big your artboard is and how big you're creating your cog. Let's make that a bit bigger, I think. Okay, so now we're going to create the spokes on our cog. So if we select the rectangle tool and just drag and create a square, holding shift. So it's remembered the stroke that we just created our circle with, so we're just going to swap these around. So this is a fill rather than a stroke. And then what we're going to do is select with the direct selection tool these top two anchor points here. And we're going to get our scale tool and just holding shift, we're just going to drag those in. Okay, so this is the shape for our spokes on our cog. And we've still got our smart guides turned on, hopefully, so you can see here it's trying to snap to all different elements. But what we want to do is snap it right to the middle of the circle, so it lines up vertically. And we can just bring it up so it just pokes out the top like this. And what we're going to do is going to go to Edit, Copy, and then Edit, Paste in Place. And then we're going to go to Object, Transform, and Reflect. And we're going to reflect along the horizontal axis this time. Click OK, and we can just drag that down. Now, you can probably tell from looking at this that this one is sticking out a bit further than the one at the bottom. So we want to make sure that they're both evenly spread out. So if we select both of these, holding shift, I'm going to go Object, and we're going to group them. So then if we click that, and we click our circle, we get these options up here. And you can also access them via the Align palette on the right. And we're just going to click this one here, Vertical Align Center. And you can see it just shuffles them into place, and now they're evenly sticking out the edge of the circle. And we can actually go back and Object and ungroup these now. Next, what we're going to do is select both of these. Now we know that they're positioned correctly and equally. And then we're going to go to Edit, Copy, Edit, Paste in Place. We're going to select the Rotate tool, and we're going to hold Shift and rotate them 90 degrees. Then what we're going to do is select all four of these spokes, and we're going to go to Edit, Copy, Edit, Paste in Place, select the Rotate tool, and do the same again, but just for 45 degrees this time. Okay, so there we go, we have our cog. The last thing we need to do now, if I select all of this, and using the scale tool, shrink it down, you'll see it does something quite strange. So if we press Command Y on the Mac or Control Y on the PC, we can see that these are all shapes, but this line is still a stroke. So what we need to do, if we select that and go to Object, Expand, and make sure that Stroke is selected, it will then convert the stroke or the outline into a shape. So if we click OK, there we go. So you can see now that it's become the shape as we saw it, rather than an outline. So now you can't easily adjust that width anymore. But if you select all the parts of the shape and shrink them down, it will remain proportionate to the other parts of the shape. And that's just best practice really to finish off when you've completed designing an icon or a shape. And the last thing really is to just select all of these, as we've done in previous lessons, go to the Pathfinder palette and then unite them so that becomes one complete shape. And there we go, we've created our settings cog.